Alright guys, this is a long play review for Shadow Warriors on the Amstrad CPC, and it's an arcade conversion. And the original, well, you may know this game under different names. In America it's known as Ninja Gaiden, and in Japan it was released as Ninja Dragon Sword Legend. But this actually spawned a whole Ninja Gaiden series of games, mostly on the Nintendo consoles and handhelds. But there's the arcade original there. That's the Ninja Gaiden cabinet. I couldn't find a photo of the Shadow Warriors cabinet. But as always with arcade conversions, we're going to take a look at the arcade original first. So as a bit of a short and quick comparison to see how the Amstrad version turned out and fared. There's a nice little animation on the attract sequence here of the arcade cab. Now this was released in North America and Europe in 1988. It's from Tecmo. Don't know a huge amount of Tecmo games, but I did love their Tecmo World Cup 90. It's probably my favourite arcade game of all time, because I love my arcade soccer. Anyway, we're starting this off. Ninja in USA. Now as you can see, it's a scrolling left to right beat 'em up. And your ninja, oh, I'm getting my ass handed to me by loads of Jason Voorhees is there. Marvellous. Yes. Your ninja's got that flip attack. You can send enemies through lots of destroyable background objects in your way. You can also jump on lampposts like that and swing and kick. And he's also got his other main attack, which is that sort of kick and punch. Oh yes, but we'll see that again in a second. I've picked up the sword there. Very, very useful. Yes, if you destroy objects, there's usually some pickup behind there, whether it's a bonus life, some gems, or a bit of extra health there. His main attack, the kick and punch, you just activate it by rapidly pressing the first fire button, and he does a kick and a punch and a kick and a punch repeatedly. Let's see if I lost my... There it is, because I've lost my sword now. So he's got that flip, that jump there, and if an enemy's just a little bit in front of him, he'll pick him up by the scruff of the neck and flip him over. Graphics are okay. I think they could have been a little bit better for 1988 standard, really. But this was reasonably popular in the arcades, actually. But it's a pretty bog standard left to right kick 'em up. But they do have a couple of nice touches. For example, this section here where you're sort of balancing on the poles. Well, that's nothing particularly exciting. There's a freeway on the second level where you have to dodge cars. Oh, and a rather gruesome continue screen. Oh dear. But there you go. That was Ninja Gaiden, or Shadow Warriors, in the arcade. And now we're going to have a look at the Amstrad CPC conversion, which came out in 1990 from Ocean Software. Nice box art there, I think done by the excellent Bob Wakelin again, but nothing like the Ninja Gaiden artwork. That way, obviously the Ninja Gaiden series went on to become quite popular, actually. I think it even had an Xbox game. So a nice loading screen there. No music on the title screen. There's the programmers there. Okay, Mike Talbot, programmer. Dave College, Matt Furness. Matt Furness does the music and sound effects, but there's barely any music or sound effects in the game. That's the only music you'll hear. More on the programmer and graphics artist later. Let us focus on the game starting up. Very colourful, very blocky. The first impressions. You can see there we've got objects in the plane area that we can smash enemies into and blow them up. And if you notice there, I managed to grab onto the lamppost there and swing off it for a very, very short amount of time. You'll see more on that later. Yeah, we've got the Jason Voorhees enemy there. Though some of the enemies are out of sequence there. There we go. I think that's a sword pickup there we've just revealed from blowing up that object. And there's that kicky punchy move. Now in the arcade you have to hammer down the fire button to pull that off. In the Amstrad version you literally just hold down the fire button and he does it automatically. There's literally one attack in the game, and it's a bit disappointing really, but then that's all the arcade had, and then it had that jump flip thing. And I didn't realise you can actually pick the sword there. There's the sword in action. That's the only other attack really. I didn't realise initially playing this, because I haven't really played the arcade version before, but the jump thing actually does actually can be used to attack enemies. Oh, there's me swinging on the thing there. And in fact you'll be using that jump a lot. Yeah, and you'll see me using it quite a lot in this long play. To be honest, it's often the only way to sort of get through unscathed. Oh, that's a bonus life there. There's like a tiny little blue ninja been revealed from that thing there. There we go. Your lives are in the bottom right corner of that status bar there, signified by those X's. So you can see 3 X's there below the high score. And to the left, of course, you've got the score there. Your energy meter, 40 loud, sort of 4 hits, or at least 4 times being knocked to the floor. Sometimes on the earlier levels, the enemies may end up punching you and stunning you. But if you keep trying to move away or jump away, you might just get away before the final blow knocks you down. Usually about 3 blows from the enemy, and you knock to the floor, and you lose 1 point of energy then. Start with 2 lives, we've got 3 lives there, and you get 2 continues in this conversion. Unfortunately we've got sort of flick screen scrolling. It does sort of scroll up and down, but in horrible chunks, and the frame rate is pretty poor. See there, you can kick enemies while swinging on a pole, or post, or lamppost, whatever, or shop sign. On the later levels, you're going to need to use them to basically swing across a river. And yeah, here we have to jump on those, what are they, more poles or something, connecting 2 buildings, and then we'll come on to the final guardian. Well, sorry, not the final guardian, the boss of the first level. And there's a boss at the end of each level. There are 6 levels in total. I can't remember how many there are in the arcade original, having never played it through to the end. Ah, damn it. So you can sometimes break away, but by the later levels that doesn't seem to happen. What you really want to try and do in this is move cautiously and try and trigger just 1 enemy at a time. See, like that, rather than 2. The problems occur when you've got 2 enemies attacking you, because they're very, very quick to move, and very quick to move behind and in front of you. And that's when the game gets really, really tough. And it's actually really frustrating and pretty dull actually in the end. But yeah, frustration is the main thing. Certainly when I first played this game, I think I gave it a 2 or 3 goes at the most before, oh, sod it, I'm not playing this again for a while. It annoyed me too much. And then I kind of worked out, okay, you can try and trigger 1 enemy at a time to make things a little easier. And if you've got 2, So I'm able to judge the two here because one's knocked down as one's attacking. I can sort of switch left and right very quickly, and you can switch left to right your attack very quickly, which is to the credit of the game. And then I realised later on, well, you got that jump attack, so if you get stuck you can always sort of just jump around the screen and hopefully, oof, I think I should have fallen down the pit there but didn't. That was a stupid thing to do. I think I was trying to flip him over into it, but I need to be jumping from the other side to do that. Anyway, prepare to meet the Guardian. Flashes up really quickly. Now, he's actually pretty easy to defeat. You can actually jump back on that pole there and make him follow you. And and quite often, more than often actually, he actually just falls into the pit there to the left. In fact, he probably will now. There you go. And we'll use that later on think level 4 or 5 to get through. There's that little jingle of music. Oh, and yes, here's level 2. It starts off on a freeway with some cars. And if you can actually run across here, I'm just showing off. You can actually jump between the road signs there, which is pretty cool. And we get the introduction of some motorbikes next as well. Yeah, kick him into. Try and throw and kick him into objects whenever you can. The key to surviving this game is try and get those energy pickups and bonus lives. There's an energy pickup to restore 1 bit of health. Try and get them quickly as well, and don't stop messing about like I am, because they will disappear eventually. Yeah, the frame rate is awful when you sort of the screen has to scroll up and down. Nice animation on the flames though. But yes, wow, this is going to be a long game to commentate on. 46 minutes. Youch. A bit of a tedious plot. There's some interesting bits here and there. Obviously, like the bosses at the end of the stages probably have the most interest for you, and also the final Guardian, or the Demon as he's known according to this conversion. Strangely though, they don't seem to die if they get run over by the car. I was trying to get him run over there, but hey ho. One more freeway to navigate, you can just run across. Oh, here's the motorbikes. Hopefully, one's just driven into the pipes, and the other one's just driven into the oil barrel there, or whatever it is. Excuse me. Yes, I found this a very frustrating experience at first, and second, and third, and fourth. Until I sat down to do this long play. I actually did this long play quite a few months ago, but someone else put a long play of this up for the Amstrad version, so I've held off on this for about 6 months or so. But when I did come to do the long play, after I sort of got the hang of this a bit, I did start to enjoy it. I absolutely hated this when I first got it. Absolutely hated it. Beat 'em up should be mindless good fun, and this was just mindless and dull and frustrating. So the sword is not a huge benefit, apart from it's a one-hit knockdown. Otherwise, if you're punching and kicking, you've got to get about 3 hits on them. Well, that was lucky there. So yeah, in the end you start to end up using this jump, flying, kick thing all the time, and you're just jumping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the key to completing this is obviously to take it easy as well, and try and only trigger one enemy at a time if you can. which means it may be a bit of a slog for to watch through, but and it's a bit of a slog to play through as well. But I did kind of slightly end up enjoying it in the end. But I just think there's a real sort of lack of effort and polish on the game, really. I mean, they could have, like, I'm sure they had enough memory left for music. In fact, we're playing the 128K version, and I don't think that's just lost a life there. Oh well. And I don't think that's any different to the 64K version, apart from it just loads all the levels in one go instead of like a multi-load, which is nice. But I'm sure that means there's probably enough memory left to have a bit of music in. There's music in the Specky version, and it's the same music programmer, and he gets a credit on this game. I don't know why he'd bother, because a 2-note jingle whenever you start a level, and a couple of sound effects, a crunchy explosion noise and a ding whenever you pick up objects, hardly something to be very proud of. Yes. Interestingly, I think it's the same programmer on the Specky version. Right, the Specky version has to be. I have to give this a big mention. The Specky version was hugely successful and very popular and very liked. The Specky version looks absolutely fantastic, especially for a Specky game. I don't mean any offence by that, but obviously the Spectrum has a very limited colour palette of, like, you know, about 4 colours or so, and obviously the colour clash. Shadow Warriors on the Spectrum, and I implore you to go and have a look at a video on YouTube. It looks amazing. It's really, really colourful, and there's no colour clash. Okay, there's like a black outline around all the sprites, and look really big and chunky. Way chunkier than the Amstrad version. And I think it's also got a slightly smaller playing area, possibly. It might be the same. And it looks amazing. But it plays actually quite identically. And it's funny the difference some nice graphics make to a game. Now I think these graphics are particularly good. They are okay. But a little bit, I don't know, crude in places. Look, like the cars we saw on the freeway. They look rather childishly drawn. I was trying to say there. Sorry, I don't know why I got my tongue twisted there. And yeah, everything looks just a bit fuzzy. On this version, but it plays pretty similar. I mean, it's the same programmer. Specky version gets a ridiculously high score in most places, but the Amstrad version rates very lowly. And you know what? Kind of playing both versions, I really like the Specky version, but it's the same. It's the same goddamn programmer, and there's very little difference between them. So it's really funny, guys. My point being is, it's funny that just some nice graphics can really make all the difference. And you know what? Some nice music in-game and some funkier sound effects, you're looking at a much higher score for the game. Often just makes the real difference. Obviously, gameplay, it should be always king. And to be honest, for a beat 'em up, the gameplay isn't that brilliant. It's pretty mindless stuff. Sometimes you just want to play a mindless game where you're just ploughing down hundreds of enemies. Sometimes you just need that sort of satisfaction from that mindless plough of violence or whatever. I guess that's what's kind of appealing about these, like, scrolling beat 'em up games, like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Double Dragon. There's not a huge amount of skill really. involved. I suppose there is to a degree, but it's pretty mindless stuff. People love them though. I like them. I don't like them all the time. And I suppose this conversion does its job, but it's nowhere near as fun as the Target Renegade or Renegade. The Double Dragon 1 and 2 conversions done by Richard Applin. Even Final Fight was a little bit more fun than this. There you go. But yes, same programmer, Mike Talbot, I believe. Yes, Mike Talbot. What other games did he do on the Amstrad? Nothing hugely of note. I suppose his other biggest game he did was Superman the Man of Steel, and that's the multi-level sort of Superman game, flying section and a scrolling sort of section, and it was okay, and that was for Tynesoft. Other games he's done, Ball Crazy for Mastertronic, Bigfoot for Codemasters. I didn't think much of that. I was actually looking at doing that for a long play. Storm for Mastertronic doesn't look very good. The Fear, or known as Storm 2 for Mastertronic. That's it. That's all his credits. I think he may have worked on Skate or Die for Electronic Arts, but that's it. So I don't know much about the programmer. So I was getting my ass handed to me here by the level 3 Guardians. Only 2 attack at the same time. And there's 3 of them. So one's dormant there, which looks a bit odd. And they've got these claws and Jason Voorhees masks on again. At the casino, just one thing about the bosses very quickly. If you hit them, just like you, if you get hit, they're temporarily invulnerable for a few seconds. So you can't do anything with them, and they can attack you. I don't think I've ever seen that in a boss battle, or just generally enemies in a game that have more than one hit point or life point or whatever. They're invulnerable for about like 4 or 5 seconds, and they can attack you. I guess it's to stop you from like cornering them and just smacking the shit out of them, letting them get stuck. And there's the 3rd enemy now. Now he's activated. It's only 2 can attack at a time. Strange. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. And with these Guardians, I wouldn't try and engage them in hand-to-hand combat. Just keep doing the flips, and you'll get through it. So yeah, I was just talking about the programmer there, Mike Talbot. Not in-house Ocean team. I think Ocean farmed it out to Tech, spelled T-E-Q-U-E, and what did they do? I think Tech did a few conversions for Domark, Spit, like Badlands. That was awful. Pit Fighter, that was awful. But they did do Clacks, and they redeemed themselves on that one. Tubing as well. Actually, apparently the musician in this game did the excellent tubing music. More on him in a minute. And Zybots as well. That was a pretty disappointing game actually. Monochrome graphics. So that's what they were known for, Tech Software. And it looks like Domark and Ocean used them a few times. Yes, lastly, graphics by Dave College, C-O-L-L-E-D-G-E. Absolutely naffle for him. He did shouty graphics for this game and Zybots, and the graphics of Zybots were bloody awful. More interestingly though is the musician Matt Furness. I love his music. He doesn't get enough praise actually. He did some great soundtracks for a lot of quite a few high-profile releases on the 8-bit systems at least. The one saving grace of Pit Fighter was the excellent music. That was his. Music on Skull and Crossbones, that was really good. Tubin has some excellent tunes. Matt Furniss again. What other games he's listed here? Scramble Spirits, Space Harrier 2. And I think that's it. I think he may have ended up doing a few more that the CPC Power website hasn't found credit for. So that's where I'm getting my information from here. So there you go. Wow, I've rambled on a lot, especially about the programmers. But I like to talk about the history of the game I'm looking at, and also the history of the people behind the game as much as I can. I don't know why, I find that interesting. And you can sort of track programmers' progress over the years, or follow programmers. Oh, bit of a bug there, did you notice? I started to jump down, and then the screen warps back up to the same position. It's like I've jumped down twice there, but only jumped down once. A bit of a bug there. Quite a few objects there to smash open and get stuff. So yes, the arcade original, done by Tecmo. My favourite arcade game of all time is done by Tecmo, which is World Cup Soccer 90. But Tecmo also did, let's have a look at Tecmo games on the Amstrad that was converted. Bomb Jack, Rygar, Silkworm, Gemini Wing, Solomon's Key. All of them actually really great games and really good conversions actually, all of them. Looked at Bomb Jack recently, if you look down my list of videos. But yes, obviously they released this as Ninja Gaiden in America, Ninja Dragon Sword Legend in Japan in 1989, a year later. I don't know why it got renamed for Europe though. I think it was possibly because of the fear over the name Ninja. Now, if you remember my last video, guys, it's Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, of course known as Ninja Turtles in America. Oh, just quickly, here's the bit where we have to swing over the pond or lake or whatever. And there we go. Yes, if you remember, the last video was for Ninja Turtles, but obviously got renamed Hero Turtles in several parts of the oh yes, just stand there, just hang there, and eventually they'll fall into the river, and that's how we'll beat the end of level Guardians here as well. Yes, I talked about how Turtles was renamed Hero in various parts of Europe because there was a stupid fear of ninjas and like kids like imitating ninjas of Death Stars and kicking and attacking their friends or whatever. There's really ridiculous stuff. So I'm guessing that's why it got renamed to Shadow Warriors. But Ninja Gaiden did spawn quite a lot of games, mostly on I think the NES. There's Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Oh yes, here's how you defeat these guys. If you remember the sumo wrestler on the first level, there's 2 of them. Jump up, let them chase you, and they'll fall into the river. Sometimes they do jump up there with you, actually. They'll suddenly just appear. But what you do not go too far left, because I encountered a bug where they kicked me off into the lake further back, and when I respawned after losing a life, the screen was just completely black, and the game had pretty much crashed. Yay! So a few little bugs, or shall we call them quirks, in this release. But yeah, it's also Ninja Gaiden on the Master System, Game Gear, Mega Drive, and then it had sort of a. It was brought back to life in 2004. I think on the Xbox and PlayStation 2, maybe. Yeah, there's Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, Ninja Gaiden 3 as well. That was as recent as 2011, I think, maybe. So it's quite a popular series, and they've stuck with the Ninja Gaiden name, of course. It was back in the UK and Europe when those modern versions were released. Yeah, so I've been talking a lot about other things around this game. Not too much so far about the Amstrad one we're playing. To be honest, guys, I've got 45 minutes of commentary to fill up. And hey, if anyone wants me to upload the video without commentary, I'm happy to do so if someone asks, otherwise I won't bother. Because I had one person moaning on YouTube that I was talking all the way through a video and it ruined it for him. Well, fuck you, basically. But it is a review, commentary and a long play. That's what I do in my channel. There's quite a few YouTube purists out there saying a long play has to be just a long play, show you everything from start to finish with every little detail, and nothing else added. Well, you know, whatever, I don't care. I do what I do because I like it, and I don't particularly follow rules too much, generally anyway, so screw you. But hey, I'm not an arsehole. If you want me to upload a video without a commentary on it, I will happily do so. I may make it unlisted, but with a link in the description. But it may, if you're asking for an old one, it may depend if I've actually still got the video file somewhere. Some of them I didn't mix down in the video software without a commentary track, I think. Oh yes, here's a little tip. If you get your back to a wall, and you can just stand there kicking and punching, and they can't get behind you. And yeah, that's how you clear a load of enemies off. Bit of a cheat there. Well, the enemies like to cheat. They like to gang up on you from either side. So that's a way to get around a few places. You could even backtrack to the start of the level each time a couple of enemies spawn, and then jump yourself against the back of the level at the start and just kick and punch away if you were really desperate to beat a level. But I think this long play would have been twice the length if I ended up doing that. And he just appeared out of nowhere, lovely. Damn it. I was going to try and do this without losing a life, I couldn't be arsed. But I've done this on 1 credit. Yeah, but yes, much easier when you've only got one enemy attacking you. You can just basically stand there with the fire button held down, kicking and punching away, and they'll just walk into your attack. If not, you'll see them trying to sneak behind you, so you're just ready to turn around and start kicking them, basically. I'm going to try and get my back to the wall here again. See, there you go. And he'll always come in front of you, and you'll just keep coming back for more. Now, I think this is missing a few enemies. Can't remember which ones are missing. I think there's some more acrobatic enemies that jump around in the arcade original that are missing. But in the Amstrad version, of course, you've got the Jason Voorhees type guys. Got the guys in, well, they're in red jackets. I was going to say those guys are in red jackets as well. I get the nunchucker guys, that's 3, and also the guys with the logs, swinging logs at you. So a few enemies. It's pretty faithful to the arcade original, I have to be fair. I mean, it isn't brilliant stuff. But notice, guys, here on this level, we've now got 3 enemies activated attacking us, which is a bit unusual. And things start to hot up here. if they do get a hit on you, it's very rare. I was just going to say that you don't normally get to jump out of it, but I did just then. It's very rare that you'll be able to jump out of it to save yourself or move up or down from it. Yeah, he tried to sneak around me there, but I knew what he was going to do. But yes, I'm told as well from Wikipedia, I mentioned the Specky version earlier, that this was the UK #1 Spectrum game from October 1990 right the way through to February 1991. It was that popular. Now, how accurate Wikipedia is up for debate, but I know this was really popular in the Spectrum, and people love it on the Specky, and they hate it on the Amstrad. And I say what, the only difference is the graphics. And weirdly, the Specky version is a lot more blockier. And chunkier. It does look better actually, to be fair, the Specky version. But I think the boss there, no, has he fallen in? I should have fallen in then. Right, I was trying to jump up there, see if he will fall in. What on earth is going on? See, the game gets really confused when you scroll up and down and you do a jump. Like the end, he's just walked up there. In the end, I killed him with X amount of hits. There you go. Right, level 6, the final level. This is a bit of a slog to get through. It's quite long actually. It's 10 minutes worth, this long play. And there's the sword pickup there. Now these log carrying gits, they're quite easy in the Amstrad version. In the arcade original, they've got quite a reach on their log when they swing it, but they've pretty much got the same attack length as any other character in the game. In fact, they're all similar, or pretty much identical, just different sprites. And they don't seem to have any different habits in terms of AI as well. But as we get towards the end of this long play, I suppose I'm going to sum up a bit of a review. Graphics, nice and colourful, but a little bit sort of fuzzy. Does that make sense? They're not particularly well defined. They're okay, but nice and colourful, and I like colourful and chunky. But the background art could have done with a bit more care and attention. Okay, we've got large pixels to deal with, but you know, with a bit of skill and talent, you can really make backgrounds look really good on the Amstrad. Or the use of your large colour palette available. And I don't know why I was getting away with just standing there and swinging my sword repeatedly and then just jumping in. But we'll get our back to the wall here. Just lost the sword there. I was a bit confused. And we'll just stand here and kick the crap out of them as they spawn. Obviously they're off screen, but they can't get behind us. And it looks like I'm in the wall there as well. As if, yeah, it lacks a little bit of care and attention, this game, really. I'm disappointed by the lack of music, especially, I mean, music on the title screen, come on, should have music. Specky version does. I can't see this taking up any more memory than the Specky version, really. Okay, the Amstrad has to deal with a lot more screen memory, but no music, crap sound effects. Well, so sound effects really for the Amstrad. Flick screen scrolling and really awful vertical scrolling, which causes a few bugs and weirdness and quirks, as we saw on the last level of the boss fight. Mindless frustrating. But if you crack it and persevere with it, it sort of becomes a bit fun. I changed my mind. Initially going into the Longplay, I thought this is dreadful. They're going to give us a very, very low score. But I'm going to settle around about 6.5 out of 10. And I have a vague recollection Amstrad Action gave it a similar score. I think they gave it 67%. See if I can find that. But yeah, 6.5 out of 10. They've tried to be as faithful as possible to the arcade original. I have to give them credit for that, and they've been reasonably successful in doing so. Actually, yeah, Amstrad Action gave it 68%, and then when it was re-released on the Hit Squad budget label, 65%. So I pretty much concur with Amstrad Action magazine there. There you go. I mentioned the Specky version, the Commodore 64 version. It's kind of okay. It's okay. I've only played it briefly. It feels a bit weird. I don't know. I can't describe it. I think it's something to do with the hit detection or something. I don't know. Sort of glide. The sprites sort of glide about, and it's okay. But I haven't seen the Atari ST or Amiga versions in action. Yes, if you want a good beat 'em up on the Amstrad, obviously look to the Renegade and Target Renegade series. The Double Dragon conversions done by Richard Applin for the 128K machines. They're probably the best scrolling beat 'em ups available on the Amstrad. Both of them conversions. Well, actually, Target Renegade was its own sequel in its own right. Oh yes, no 2 players. Ah yes, I forgot to mention that. No 2-player option. So it loses marks for that as well. I'm not sure if the other conversions did have a 2-player option on the Specky or Amstrad. No, the Specky version I think was 1 player. Don't know about the Commodore version though. So there you go, 6.5 out of 10, and we're not too far from the end as well. At last, blimey, I've managed to talk for 3/4 of an hour. Nice explosions though. And as you can see, I'm just using the jump kick a lot there. It's actually quicker because if you do your normal attack, you've got to hit them 3 times if they get knocked down. Whereas that jump kick, you can just, well, it's not, they're knocked down in 1 hit. Slightly harder to pull off, well it should be, but actually ends up being quite easy because you can just jump around the place without getting hit. Not all the time though, but you know, most of the time. But yeah, we're coming up to the final boss here. Prepare to meet the demon. And he comes down on that sort of lift thing. See, which actually moves moves up and down as the screen scrolls up and down. Actually, just noticed. Okay, he's got 2 swords there, and he breathes fire. It looks okay, but I found a way to beat him really easily. And if you get right to the bottom of the screen there, for some reason he's unable to get as far down as you are. And his attacks won't hit you, but yours will. So a very, very cheap way to beat the final boss, but hey, I've got this far. I've got no lives left, a bit of energy. It takes forever, so I'm just gonna use this method and get rid of him. I actually don't know the story of this game, what the plot is or whatever. I mean, but the levels are actually based around real cities in America, or as much as possible. I think in order sort of levels like Los Angeles, New York, Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon, and the Transcontinental Railroad, apparently. And this level, of course, we're inside the Demon's hideout. Yeah, so keep plugging away there. And that's it. No ending to the game, guys, just a really crap text screen coming up. I've spoilt it for you. If you've watched all this way hoping for a really nice ending, forget it. There's a big sprite though, actually. There you go, you have finished Shadow Warriors. And that's it, back to the title screen. Tempted to give lower marks now. Now, 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, see you soon, bye.